Yeah. Yeah. I would just say, I think why I'm so passionate about this is because I have walked the same walk that the entrepreneurs I'm working with have walked. Meaning,
Yeah.
I'm not talking to you from a place of I've never done it. I'm talking to you from having $0 in the bank and scaling a business, being a single person doing the work to hiring a team of people. So I have to, the same automation, delegation strategies, and systems that I teach people, I've had to live. And it's uncomfortable and difficult most of the time. So I'll use an example. You got a chance to stop by our business conference a couple months ago.
Yeah.
And that conference, the Run Your Business Like a Boss conference, was a vision I had had for multiple years. But at least 3 years, I've had this vision of being able to produce a one-day conference and make it different than most other small business conferences. Most conferences will talk about if you got an idea, how to start, how to do this. They're talking to everybody. I really wanted to focus on how do we run businesses? What's the practical knowledge that we need to know when we're doing the day-to-day struggle? And one of the things that was a big pivot for me was being able to lean on a team. And that's been my whole focus for this year of 2022 is how to fire myself from the day-to-day of my own business. And I brought in some folks from my team to build the conference for me. And I was so out of the weeds that when I got there, I said, the color is blue. It's blue in here.
Hilarious.
I was like, so I was kind of upset. I said, I would have worn my blue blazer, not my gold. Our colors are blue and gold. I would have worn my blue blazer, not my gold blazer. And for a second, I said, I should talk to somebody about this. Because why didn't I? And I said, wait a minute, just stop. Just stop for a second.
Yep.
Look at the growth that you were able to have, that they took care of every single detail, down to the color of the room. And you didn't have to know about it because you were off raising money for the conference, getting people here, getting the support. And so I say that because when I talk about delegation, that was one of the examples I used that day of I've had to fire myself from giving a shit about what color the place is. You know what I'm caring about? Where the money coming from? So, and I say that because when I'm teaching entrepreneurs that not everybody is going to have a business that's scalable. Not everybody is going to hire an employee. For me, I want to create jobs for people. I want to create the kind of jobs that at a place I want to work, which means I need people to help me bring those visions together. So I say that because the same getting out of my comfort zone, the same, upper limit problems that other people have, I've had them too. So now I can speak from a place of humility and having to say, I know what it's like to have hired too fast and had to fire early, or hiring the wrong people and not getting the right value in production, or having to trust people who are smarter than me and pay a lot of money for that. Like, I know all of those things. And so I say that as an entrepreneur, that's where I get so passionate about saying none of us are doing this perfect. In fact, most of us don't even really know what we're doing.
Yep.
But if we can be transparent enough with other entrepreneurs, then we can take away some of the information that people are hearing on social media that's clouding their judgment, that's making them feel like they're doing it wrong when they don't have a lot of followers. I don't even use social media, and I probably will start doing more of it because my customers aren't finding me on social media. They're finding me through word of mouth and through how I'm able to help support other people that they know. So I say that because when we sometimes can look at followers and this and what somebody's doing, it makes us feel inferior.
Yes.
When that's not even real, So I appreciate the opportunity to be able to have these kinds of conversations with people because that's what really matters. What really matters is where's your heart in your business? What is it that you're doing that you give a shit about? Because when you're waking up every day from a place of pouring into other people and making an impact and helping, the resources come. And I don't want to say this to say that I don't think about money or resources, but that is not why I do it. And every single day I get connected with different people and different opportunities, and the resources for the businesses come, which is how I can do it. And, at such a complex level at this point in time.
I love it. And I mean, I've definitely referred you, to a couple of people at this point. You've done some work with them. You were big in the gig fair. We're going to talk about an iteration of that again soon. This has been a wonderful discussion. I also would add on everything you say, definitely stick to your passion and be committed. This stuff isn't overnight. If it's as, the propaganda or the media wing comes to me in marketing, it makes it seem as though business happens like that. And usually if a business happens like that, I look at it like it's people behind the scenes that have probably 30, 40, 50, 60 years of business, like propping up that 12-year-old.
Yeah.
And it's a good marketing play to be like, okay, the 12-year-old probably will sell better than the 90-year-old guy that's been in business for 70 years for what we want to sell. Also, the other thing I often want to, have started presenting is a lot of the businesses you see and you're going to hear about, if you're not really getting into circles and connecting with the actual businesses you can touch, they are on they're public companies. So like a company that's on the New York Stock Exchange is functioning in a different level than you and your business. Because if you're
Absolutely.
functioning and feeding basically investors, that's what a shareholder is, as opposed to like really feeding the person that's gonna like the end consumer. That's different. And I'm not saying
Yeah.
that a company on the New York Stock Exchange doesn't care about the end user, but I would say it kind of takes a back seat to my shareholders. So we need to do different things for our shareholders. So don't always think that you need to compete in that. And then the conference was wonderful. It was kind of like, walking in the cell phone store, you're always like, man, you got all this stuff for new customers, because that's how a lot of these business conferences are. It's for startups. It's for new. And it's like, you don't even really know what you're doing until I think
That's
you've been
right.
in business for about 7 years. But the person that's been in business for 7 years, where are the resources for them? And you sometimes feel out the loop, and you're, trying to like rig a network together of some people. You met this person and that person. I was on vacation. This person said they do what I do. And you actually gave some resources to the people operating the businesses and running the businesses at different points. And that's some game that is so essential. So I tip my hat. I was glad to be there. In effect, when I was in effect, and, you had some heavyweights in there. Shout out Nina Payne and so many other people putting that together. So